Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Michael. Michael is from Orlando in Florida in the USA. So let's see what Michael has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Michael, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
My day's going well. It's been a little bit of a busy morning with meetings and such, but going well overall.
Tell me what has been the highlights of your week so far?
Um, the highlight of my week so far. Um, got to help out some friends. Was at a convention earlier this week, learning about customer experience and all of that stuff. So that's probably been the highlight. So far, the weekend isn't upon us, so we'll see what happens this weekend.
So tell me where you're from.
So I live in Orlando, Florida, and that's not where I'm originally from. I don't know if anybody is originally from Florida, but so I grew up in Eastern Kentucky and Wyoming, and have lived in obviously both of those: Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, St. Petersburg, Florida, and then now Orlando, Florida.
Wow. And why Orlando?
So it came about kind of as a career change, so to speak, and living in Orlando made it to where that I was central to the state. So it was easy for me to travel to Miami or to travel to Jacksonville or to travel to Tampa. Versus living on the West Coast, it made it a bit more of a challenge if you had to go into like northern areas of the state. So that's why Orlando kind of fit the mold there, so to speak. And then I have a bunch of colleagues that also live here, and they, were cheering me to move here.
Amazing. And all your family are back in Kentucky?
Yeah, so all of my family's in Kentucky. Yep.
I see. And tell me what you do for work, for living, Michael.
Yeah, so I do IT consulting,
Mhm.
predominantly around contact centers, AI, analytics, call recording, and process improvement. So typically, I go in and kind of evaluate the business and understand, what are you currently doing today that is inefficient, either from a process perspective or a technology perspective. Um, and then I look to see like where do you want to go? Where are you envisioning yourself being in the next year, the next 5 years, and essentially create a plan, a business plan around that to gain budget, typically for IT software, and stuff that impacts the customer experience.
Amazing. So if I picture the William the Magic Box for the next 5 years, you are the right person to guide me through
Right.
those
I would hope so.
That's amazing. And how long have you been living in Orlando for?
I moved to Orlando in 2018.
Okay.
So
So just
I've been here for a bit. It's nice.
and,
It's home. It feels like home now.
and you planning to stay there for a long while?
I do. I don't see myself moving in the foreseeable future.
Hmm.
I've really enjoyed it. I really also enjoyed living in St. Pete as well. But originally when I moved down from Nashville, I wanted to live in Tampa Bay, which is where St. Pete is at. Um, I wanted to live in Orlando, and then I also wanted to live in South Florida. So I haven't done the South Florida move yet, although I have friends down there, so it's easy for me to go down and visit whenever I want to. So maybe it's like perfect that I stay here and just use the connections I have.
I think when you move to a new place, a new state, or a new place where you're not familiar with, when you have friends
Yeah.
there, it makes a big difference because you
Oh,
feel well.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It gives this comfort.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely 100% agree with you.
Okay, Michael. So before we start our journey within the Magic Box, when I was checking your profile on Instagram, there was a phrase there that
Uh,
it got my attention. Yeah, it says there, life starts outside the comfort zone. Yeah, I agree with that. But for you, what's the meaning of that? Why you have this phrase on your Instagram page?
yeah, so I think, the big thing about it is challenging yourself. Challenging
Hmm.
yourself to do things that you may be completely uncomfortable with and completely outside of your norm. I think by, challenging yourself in that way, it helps you to grow as an individual. It helps you to experience more of the world. I think us as humans need to really experience more of the world and have more experiences out there, which in turn gives kind of a guiding light of how you should be as an individual, and also gives you more understanding of others that are
Mhm.
different than you.
Totally. I think outside our comfort zone can be scary, but at the same time
Mhm.
as
Oh,
well, you
absolutely.
can find beautiful things outside
Yep,
for sure.
absolutely.
And when you step out, you go like, my God, what I'm doing here? And suddenly you go like, yes, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I've had many different experiences that, maybe it's something that I wouldn't have done. It was a leap of faith outside of the comfort zone. And, ultimately the the knowledge and just the feeling of satisfaction that you got outside of that, and just being uncomfortable. And sometimes outside of that comfort zone is also being just vulnerable
So,
in general.
absolutely. Michael, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I am.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Thanks.
So I have here my best friend. Random fun questions, okay? I'm just
Okay.
gonna play a song for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Just let's do it. Right, so before I start the game, during the join, it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, you don't want to talk about, always can change, okay? Right, first question is, which season of the year you feel more connected with and why?
Um, eh, there, there's, there's kind of two, but the main one I would say would be spring. We've in the spring, you've come out of the depressive state of gray and cold, and that's when everybody is. I work from home, so when I'm in my home office, I'm seeing all of the people walking on the street and walking with their kids or family or animals and such. And I think it's just kind of a joyous time to get out and really kind of reconnect with nature and experience, what's out there. So in the springtime, I love going kayaking, going hiking, discovering a new park in Florida, just doing, outdoor stuff after you've been kind of cooped up.
And is your birthday around springtime as well or not?
So my birthday is January the 8th, so it actually just passed Elvis's birthday. It's how people remember it. But no, so mine is like dead in the winter. The bad thing about my birthday is it is Christmas. 1 week later, it is New Year's. 1 week later from that, it's my birthday. So by the time my birthday rolls around, everybody is exhausted from all the holiday stuff. And so I typically celebrate that a little further into spring.
Do you like celebrating birthdays?
Um, I'm not like huge on it. I mean, to me, it's just kind of like another day. But I think it also just the way the holidays fall and all that stuff. I am perfectly fine. Meal at home, cuddle up on the couch, and just relax.
It's interesting because I'm originally from Brazil, and back in Brazil, I've been in Europe most of my life, and people
Yeah.
always say, "Oh, January is, it's blue. It's a long month to finish. You come after Christmas, New Year. There's always these long months to go." It's
Hmm.
interesting because back in Brazil, I never felt that because after New Year's Eve, we have Carnival coming like in February, March. So,
Yeah.
everyone's excited about it. So I never had this feeling about a long January.
Yeah.
And it's gone. It's already today, the last day of January. It's gone so fast.
Yeah. No, it has. And for us down here in Florida, this year in particular, it has been so cold. So I mean, it's
Really?
and that's the typical norm in Florida. The typical norm in Florida, like you have 2 weeks of kind of cold weather.
Right.
Everything else you can still wear shorts typically. No, that has not been the case since like the middle of December through today actually is nice outside and it's starting to like trend upwards to where it's, decent in the 70s.
It gets very cold there over there as well during the winter time.
So here I mean, it typically does like the lowest it'll get down into the 30s, but normally that's only like it only happens at night and you'll have
Mhm.
like 2 weeks of really cold weather. But like I said, this year we're like month and a half of cold weather, which is, not fun when your closet's not full of winter clothes. When I moved to Florida, I got rid of all that. I didn't need that anymore.
Oh my God, I just saw your dog like on in your back on the left.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
who is that?
yeah. So that is Teddy. He is a golden retriever. And then I also have a cat, which his name is Rickon, and they're kind of like best buds. They grew up together, puppy and kitten, and so
Oh,
you'll at any point in time I walk in the house, I'll find them actually cuddled up together.
oh my God, that's so sweet. Oh my God. And both are males.
Both of them are males. Yep.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And they are from Kentucky, I believe.
No, so I got them here in Orlando, actually, like
Ah,
relatively soon after I moved to Orlando. Yep.
okay. Next question. All right. Next question for you is, which movie had a big influence on you?
Which movie? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know that there's like a movie out there that I could say had a big, like a huge influence. Like, so I like horror films. And I don't want those to have an influence on me at all. Um, so yeah, like I can't say that there's a movie, like there's artists that have had like music artists that have had an influence on me.
So
Uh,
tell me your list of
Yeah,
artists.
so one of my absolute favorites is Adele. One through her trauma and how she writes about it and stuff. And then just her absolute vocal talent and stuff. And then kind of seeing her journey, from where she came from to where she came to.
Totally.
Um, that obviously is inspiring there. Another one which was more of a childhood one, which is still valid today, but Dolly Parton. So, and she's from close to where I'm from, like only an hour away from me, and kind of seeing some of her life struggles and such, and where she's at, especially like when it goes back to into her childhood and kind of understanding, where she grew up and her one of 10 kids in a one-bedroom cabin, kind of thing.
Wow.
And then where she's at today. So I would say that's two that have definitely inspired me.
I saw your video on Instagram on the concert of Adele. I was like,
Uh-huh.
wow, that's a great one. And
Yeah.
fun enough, I had a few guests here on the show from Tennessee, and they're big big fan, and they're telling me about she has like a theme park where she helps to give job for people around her area where she grew up.
Yeah, that was one of her big dreams is to be able to employ and help the people in the community that she grew up in. And so she has a park there called Dollywood. It's actually a really nice amusement park, to be honest. Um, and she employs a lot of family
Mhm.
there. So inside of a lot of the theaters and stuff are family members of hers that perform in those theaters and in those production shows. But she does a lot to give back to the community. So when the fires were happening in the Smoky Mountains, she was writing checks to people. And
Wow.
then from a global stance, she's a huge advocate of reading. So she has her own reading foundation that sends out books to kids from birth to I think it's like 10 or something like that. And every month they get a new book.
You just made me remember something now. A lovely man here on the show, he said that there is a quote about that she said once that if you had a book on you with you, you're always gonna learn something. There is something about you can educate yourself, something like that. I found
Yep.
very interesting when she said that.
Yep.
Let's say one day you wake up in the morning and you have two missed calls on your phone, one from Adele and one from Dolly. Which one you call back straight away and which one you send a message, I'll call you later?
Oh, you know, I would, to be honest, I I would probably call back Dolly Parton first. So I have had the opportunity to meet her, uh,
Really?
and an amazing individual. Um, she's super funny and down to earth. Sometimes has a little potty mouth, but like it's just fun. Like she's just such a lively character, and the way that she's been able to kind of navigate the world, navigate the political sphere without divulging anything, and
Hmm.
but also people understanding her and where she's coming from,
Amazing.
kind of thing is really really amazing.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it.
That one would hurt me.
I was like, I need to put him on the spot. I need to see what he's gonna
Right.
say. Amazing. Next one. Michael, before the next question, I believe you are part of the LGBTQ plus community, yes?
That is correct. Yeah,
Are you open? Are you okay to talk about it?
I am.
Yeah. Amazing. So tell me how it was for you growing up as a queer gay boy back in Kentucky. Walk me through a little bit about your journey. Did you have the support of your family or friends? How was it for you?
Yeah, so that was a difficult journey, to say the least. I would say that there's, consistently trauma there that probably, well, that I know like creeps up today every so often, and you just kind of face it. Um, so I grew up with a pretty religious background.
Hmm.
So there was the trauma from that, and really kind of just hiding yourself consistently.
Hmm.
So you knew who you were, but what you personified was something completely different, than that. And so when I lived in Kentucky, I lived in Kentucky, was born there, lived there till kindergarten, then lived in Wyoming until fifth grade, moved back to Kentucky, lived there through seventh grade, then went back to Wyoming, did
Hmm.
freshman, sophomore stuff, and then moved back and graduated in Kentucky. So I was kind of like back and forth between the two. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't come out until I think I was 14 or 15.
Very
Uh,
young.
I always knew, but I never talked to anyone about it because I knew it was a complete taboo, to do such things. So I ended up confiding in one of my mom's best friends, and telling her, which she kind of come to me and she was like, "Hey, like your mom feels like you just don't talk to her anymore, and this, that, and the other." And we had pretty open dialogue, and there was a level of trust there, and so I just told her. And that was about 2 months after the Matthew Shepard, attack. And,
Hmm.
and so I told her, and a month or two later, she calls me and she was like, "Hey, your mom's gonna sit down and talk to you. I highly advise, like, just just open up to her and be honest." So I did. I ended up telling my mom, at that point in time, and she, uh, took it the best I guess any parent could take it.
Wow.
Um, she was trying to quit smoking at the time, and she was like, "Come on, let's get in the car. We got to go to the store. I got to get some cigarettes." So we talked about it, but there was a huge fear because this just happened to Matthew Shepard, and
Yeah.
where I'm living in Wyoming at the time, and where that happened was 45 minutes to an hour from my house
Oh,
in
wow.
Wyoming. So it was very close to home. And there was a concern there, for me, in general. It was uh it was hard. Like there wasn't necessarily support there in the beginning. There was a lot of questions, a lot of misunderstanding, and this, then the other. Um my parents were divorced. My dad was in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
She did tell my dad. Um, that did not go well.
Mm-hmm.
And still to this day, that does not go well.
Okay.
So we haven't talked in the last 10 plus years or so. So fast forward kind of out of all of that. And today, like I could talk to my mom about anything.
Amazing.
And today we joke about some of the stuff that happened, back then. And so it's kind of like water under the bridge. So now I do feel like I have a good support system from my mother's stance.
Oh,
The rest of my family, I don't,
okay.
we just don't talk about it. Like, we won't talk about it. We don't really talk at all. So, so, and I think, at my age, I feel like you start to build, even younger than me now, but you start to build your chosen family,
Totally.
and the people that really mirror your values and mirror your morals and stuff, and you kind of surround yourself with those people, and a lot of times those people can be much better than blood.
Totally. I totally agree. I think people they come to our lives for a reason that sometimes you go like, wow, now I understand why those people just, cross my path, our path, and that's how things happen. And again, the connection comes so naturally and so strong that you go like, wow, that's amazing to have those people around us.
Yeah.
Question for you. Do you think your mom knew it before you came out?
Um, I think she did. I think she denied it, but
Mhm.
I think ultimately, deep down, like if I was to ask her, did she know? I don't think I've ever asked her that question, so now I'm gonna have to ask her. But I think she knew. Um, I had never discussed it with my grandparents,
Mhm.
but I I know that they knew, just because a story that had come back to me. I guess my grandfather had asked my dad, and my dad said yes. And my grandfather's response back to him was, "Son, don't ever hurt him." And
Oh,
so
right.
it was. I think it was obvious that they knew,
Yeah, I
without.
think grandparents they have this sixth sense that sometimes our parents they don't have it because they see us in a different way. I believe
Yeah.
that as well. But sometimes, okay, of course, their generation, the way they've been brought up is totally different. That's the way we've been, growing up now. But I think deep inside our family, maybe they know it. They don't want to acknowledge. They don't want to go there. They just want to, okay, let's carry on with life. Let's live
Right.
the way it is. It just happened with the neighbors next door, but never happened to our own family. That's how
Right.
people see.
Yep. Yep.
And which person in your life right now you feel more connected with, you feel more close to?
Um, let's see. I mean, I feel like like mine and my mom's connection has, just over the course of, kind of like the last couple of months, has been building, uh,
Oh, sweet.
and getting closer. I feel like we're able to sometimes talk about things now that
Nah.
maybe would have been a little raw, um,
Mm-hmm.
a couple years back. So I feel like that is developing or growing, so to
Beautiful.
speak.
Okay, your mom is watching this interview right now and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say?
Love you, mom. I hope you're proud.
Oh, sweet. Very sweet. I'm sure she does. I'm sure she is. Okay, next question is, if you have the superpower of trading place with anyone in your family, who that would be and why? For any reason.
Ooh. Um, if I had the superpower to trade places with anyone in my family, to be honest, I would I would probably I would probably choose my dad. And the reason why is I just want to get, I want get in, not necessarily get in someone's head, but I just I want to
Mm-hmm,
understand, like,
mm-hmm,
why do you feel the way that you feel? Um, what childhood trauma or whatever have you experienced that
mm-hmm.
has caused you to do the things that you have done? I think that would, to be honest, would open my eyes in a whole bunch of different areas.
Sure.
Not even the
Yeah.
relationship perspective of that, but just help me to understand other
Mm-hmm.
individuals that choose hate,
Yes.
love, kind of thing. Because I would really, because I can't conceptualize it myself. Like I can't conceptualize not liking someone because they're different.
Totally.
When someone is different, I want to understand. Like I want to
Yeah.
understand it,
Yeah.
you know, from your eyes
Totally.
and whatnot. So
I got goosebumps now, Michael, because I totally understand your point. Sometimes when you have people around you, people that somehow is very connected with you,
yeah,
and you go like, "Wow, I'd love to understand that. Why?" Without judging, you just want to be there to try to
yeah,
understand more because you don't understand just talking to the person or just seeing their behavior or just acknowledge them. But I think being their place would have a different idea, and you go like, you know what? Now I understand why.
yeah,
Totally understand your point. Amazing.
yeah.
Next question, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Like dancing?
I do. I
I
do.
like the way you said, I do.
I do. I do. Well, after I've had a couple drinks in me, I love dancing. I can't say that I'm good at it, but I love doing
There are
it.
no rules. Dancing is about move yourself. That's it, the only rule. Next question is, what scares you the most about your future?
Um, I would say what scares me the most is the fear of the unknown. Like,
Mm,
and everything, we try to plan out, and we try to move the chess pieces on the board in the right direction. Um, and just the fear of the unknown. There's so much in uncertainty, so much turmoil that is going on in the world right now, and it it sometimes seems overbearing and such. So it's that constant fear of what's going to happen next, kind of thing. Here over the last, I don't know, couple weeks, like I've had to turn off the news cycles completely, try to disconnect because of all the craziness that's just going on in the world, which is not the right answer because we have to be a voice and we have
Yes,
to constantly stand up against what's not right um, in the world. So
totally. And sometimes as well, for example, yesterday when, the tragic plane crash with the
yeah,
helicopter in Washington. My God, I remember arriving to work and the first thing I put the news on, it was there. I was like, oh my God. Sometimes
yeah,
you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you think things, okay, let's just breathe for a bit, you know what I mean? Just to get ourselves in a bit more peaceful. And suddenly you just
and yeah,
see the things.
yeah.
Tell me something, Michael. When you think about yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Michael? What do you like the most about being you?
Um, I love my caring personality for other individuals. I think, out of the experiences that I've had over life, and the struggles that I've had, my biggest thing is being there for someone else and really kind of being a caring individual. And sometimes, that's just being selfless, from my perspective. But I think that's like one of my biggest attributes, or one of the things that, if I could say like something that like my grandparents, or specifically my grandmother, um
Mm,
instilled in me, is caring
wow.
about others. and they were the type of people, if it was the last shirt on their back, they would give it to somebody else, kind of thing. And
Oh,
I think that's probably one of my biggest attributes. um it could also be my biggest demise.
and you've always been this way?
I've always tried to look and understand someone else's view, where someone else is at in life, and where their struggle is, and what are the things that they are amazing at, and really kind of letting that shine, and show forth.
Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, good question. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself, and why?
Um, I mean, yeah, if I'm not myself, would I like to be myself? I no, I mean, I would like to be myself. I mean, I don't know. I think to some extent I may be a little unique, but
Yeah.
no, I enjoy who I am.
Mhm.
If there's something, who I am today is definitely not who I was in my early 20s. And
Mhm.
if there would be anything that I could change, or aid in being that person, I wish I knew what I knew today,
Of
back
course.
back then. So back then I was extremely shy and extremely avert to disappointing anyone. There was all those things that were going on there. But who I am today, I'm extremely proud of where I have come from, not only as an individual, but as where I lived, and such, and to where I am today. So I'm choosing.
I just saw your cat passing by. I could see both. Now I'm happy. I saw your dog and your cat. I'm happy. Saying that, if you could go back in one moment or memory in your life, for a reason, for a
Yeah.
positive thing or for negative thoughts, anything, like when you look back, if you could go back, maybe just to feel that moment again, which memory or which moment in your life you would go back for a
Uh,
minute?
I would probably go back to when my grandmother was alive, to be honest. Like,
Hmm.
hearing some of her advice, hearing some of her stories. Um, it, I, Now that I look back on it, I was like, why did I not like record some of those stories, and
Absolutely.
record some of that advice? Because she played such a pivotal role in my life, and I know that where I'm at today is directly attributed back, um, to her, and the values and stuff that she held.
Wow, great. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, what's the meaning of life for you?
The meaning of life for me. So, it- to be to be happy, and to provide even a glimpse of happiness to others, and being in service to each other, and in into a community, essentially. To me, that I think that's the ultimate thing that we're all looking for, is love, and to be wanted. So I feel like that's the I don't know. If I can put anything
And
into the world, that would be it.
and do you think happiness is a choice, Michael?
Um, I don't know that I could say it's a choice, because it's a feeling, and the feeling, I think, is dynamic to the environment, and what you're put through, essentially. So it's that's a That's a tough one. Like you can't make someone
Mhm.
feel happy. I mean, you could stick them in the happiest place on earth and they could still eat the grouch. So just I yeah, I think it's a I don't know that it's a choice necessarily. I
Mhm.
think you can try to make a conscious effort
Yeah.
um to look at things on the positive side,
Mhm.
or the glass is half full instead of half empty. And someone that is struggling with depression and different challenges and stuff in their life, you have to kind of rewire how you're thinking,
Mhm.
in certain things, so that you're looking at the positive side of whatever is going on. So when you're handed those lemons, you're making some lemonade out of them. And I know that's harder said than or easier said than done. um,
Mhm.
but it's I feel like it's absolutely critical if you want to put yourself and you want to feel happy.
See. Okay. Next question is, tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
Something I've done that I feel very proud of myself. Um, I mean, my career,
Mhm.
where I've come from and where I'm at now. I've invested, a lot of time over the years, doing this, and coming from literally the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. Um, Arguably probably one of the poorest counties, if I'm not mistaken, in
Mhm.
Kentucky, to where I am now, and just making a dedication to knowledge and understanding and such. I think that's a huge thing for me. And then, obviously in the last couple of years creating a business out of it. Right now, I think that's the first thing that I think of, because when we go back to the quote that's on my Instagram, of taking yourself outside of the comfort zone, it this last year, 2 years or so, have been 100% a leap of faith into the absolute unknown,
Wow,
uncomfortable,
I love it.
environment, to see what can I make of this? How can I contribute to this?
Wow, I love that. Really, I really like it because I know this mom, those situation can feel very scary, not
Yeah,
knowing. But once one of a great friend told me once that not knowing, it's a powerful place to be.
yeah,
It's so true. It's scary. It's it can be back to your quote again about the comfort zone. Being it's scary. It's sometimes it can be overwhelming as well. You can put yourself in a situation that you go like, my God, what I'm doing or where I'm going.
yeah,
But when things start to somehow mold, go into the direction that you feel it. Okay, it's happening now. It's things are
yeah,
somehow cooling down and goes bump again. I think it's. I agree. I agree with you. It can be scary, but it's just you need to go through. You just want to go through. It's brave. It's nice to be there. It's not. If you stay there, it's like a question mark. You're never
yeah.
gonna know if you know what I mean. I
Right.
think this feeling of um, you know I should have done or should have tried or should it's not a great feeling, you know what I mean? You just need to somehow just do it,
Yeah,
and see it. And if it goes wrong, good, you learn a lesson. If it
yeah.
goes right, okay, something new. So it's always like that.
So
Not
a great quote that a leader used to use all the time: think big, act small, fail fast, and learn. And,
yeah.
and I mean, that's absolutely valid. Have the dreams that are out there,
Mm,
and really really go after them. But if you fail, learn from it. and
totally.
and if you're failing, do it fast, but learn at the end of the day, because that's what we all need to do. We all have to continue
Mhm.
learning. I don't think there's ever a point in time in your life that you should quit trying to learn
Yeah.
and grow as an individual.
I think I saw on social media like someone mentioned about those big names in the world that they left their mark. You know, for example, Walt Disney. I think before he started, he knocked like maybe 300 doors of companies that they want to invest, and no one wants to invest to help him out. Like he literally knocked
Yeah.
like 100 doors. What's her name? The blonde actress, very famous. Mary Moreau, when I
Uh-huh.
think, yeah, I think before she became who she, I think somebody told her once that she would never get anywhere because she was ugly or something like that, and she carried on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there are so many other names as well, and I think, again, imagine those people going through that and they made it somehow. So that's
Right.
inspiring for sure.
Absolutely.
Last question. Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Are you okay with time, by the way? You okay
Oh
with
yeah,
time?
yeah, yeah. I'm fine.
Let's do it. But before the last question, 2024, yeah, just gone. When you think about 2024, tell me something that for you it meant to happen to you, and last year, something that somehow you brought it with you somehow for this new year starting now. There is something that comes to your mind.
Um, let's see. 2024 was an interesting year. I mean, it had its highs, it definitely had its lows. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, relationships come and go, and seasons of change happen, and and whatnot. um, Hinting around, but ultimately, I think it for me, 2024 was a season of growing. It was a season of growing and understanding where where am I today? Where do I want to be? What um what is making sense? What is not making sense? And where in this big world, where do you see yourself? And so there was a lot of change. There was career change that happened, and various other things that were all going on all in the same time, bundled up. But I think overall, if kind of summed it up, it was a season of growth and understanding who
Mm-hmm.
I am as a person, what I want to put into the world, and what kind of expect out of the world. So for me, I think this is early in 25, so you'll have to ask me this again a year from now. But I think it was a year of growth and a year of understanding. I think probably more so a year of understanding. This is the year of growth. But yeah.
Sure. Last question is, what's your favorite weekend activity?
Favorite weekend activity. So I love being outside. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's one thing. And I have a couple different activities that I like. I love working in my yard and like in the garden and the plants and all that stuff. So that's fun. Um, but I also play sports as well. So back in the fall, played soccer on Thursdays, volleyball on Fridays, and kickball
Oh,
on Saturdays. And that's
wow.
how I got my cardio in. So when I went to the gym, I only did weightlifting. I didn't do any cardio because I was getting my cardio in those 3 days for the week. But it's just something that I really kind of enjoy doing. Like getting out, um, meeting other people from the community, networking, building
Mm-hmm.
friendships, and staying fit and staying active. I can't say that I was really good at any of them. I mean, I was okay at kickball, but it was more so just fun and challenging yourself to do something that you had never done before.
Totally.
And I'm always about, as the quote says, to take yourself outside the comfort zone. A friend of mine was the one that convinced me to do soccer. I hadn't played soccer since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I wasn't the best at it, but I wasn't horrible at it. So, but it was a blast. I had an absolute blast doing that. And so out of all the sports, and the other one, especially the kickball, I'd done that for multiple years. Um, but I had the most fun playing soccer actually. Um,
Wow.
but but yeah, so that's typically what I look forward to on the weekends when it's further into spring and it's not cold outside. Is the rotational sports and stuff that continue to go on because here in Orlando we have outsports and
Amazing.
essentially there's constantly sports going on all year long. So there's always something for someone um, to plug into the community essentially.
Did you score many goals playing soccer?
What was that again?
Did you score some
Oh,
goals?
I defended. So I was on defense. I
Okay,
didn't. I didn't score any goals. But I mean, I kept the ball out of there.
good. I love it. There's, of course, there's always parts of it. You need to be, you know what I mean? Escalate to all of them. It's not just about scoring, it's about, other tasks as well in the game. I understand.
Place.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, just the one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money,
Success,
family,
love,
fear,
crying,
oh, life.
hard,
You can be love,
emotions.
sex.
Nice.
Nice. Politics.
Crying.
Okay. Religion.
Difficult.
Desire.
Want.
Regret.
Uh, Gosh, I don't. I'm like drawing up. Sorry. I think that
Okay. Wish.
Disney. I think that's from living in Orlando.
I was working for Disney Cruise Line actually in Port Canaveral a few years ago.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Really?
Yes. I remember arriving in Orlando in the airport. It was full of Disney characters everywhere. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, there's all about Disney here, I believe. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Everything revolves around Disney in Orlando, I feel like.
Yeah. Happiness.
Friends.
One word for Kentucky.
Beautiful.
One word for Orlando.
Fun.
And the last one, USA, one word.
Challenging.
Okay. Really? Really?
Right. Ask me in a couple of years. That may change. Or that will change, I'm sure. But yeah, right now it's a little challenge. It's a little challenging for friends. It's challenging for community. It's challenging on all of us here.
I think challenge is the right word to define, to be honest, right now. What's happening now, let's say, in the
Yeah.
US. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your mom for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your mom, define Michael in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
Um, she's gonna talk about me being caring,
Uh-huh.
and the next thing she's gonna talk about is me being stubborn.
He's very caring, but very stubborn at the same time.
Yep. That's exactly
If I,
what she said.
if I would ask the same question to your best friend, would be the same answer.
Um, an instigator
Right.
is and caring and an instigator. So instigating I don't know, a good time essentially. So me and my best friend, I don't know. Well, heck, just last night, we decided that we were gonna go have a drink, one drink.
Amazing.
instigated longer and longer and longer, and you get to socializing. So,
Totally. Let's play now, Michael, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you asking the question, what's the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your cat and your dog so far?
um, unconditional love, no matter, what is going on in their day. I mean, their day consists of eating and playing. So like it's always the unconditional love, when you walk through the door. And it I don't know, it's nice sometimes.
Beautiful. You can ask me a question now, Michael.
So what's the first or what is the first thing you think people notice about you?
Oh my God, that's such a great question. And Michael, I have over 1,300 interviews on the show, and nobody asked me this question yet. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind straight away, it really warms my heart and makes me feel uncomfortable, makes me feel shy. People say about my smile, it's
Yeah.
something that I don't know. When somebody tells you that, and I go like, my God, they even don't know me well. And just when somebody says that, and trust me, it makes me feel shy when people say that because I don't know how to deal with that compliment. However, it's something that makes me happy because I think smile starts, peace starts with a smile. I think it's
Yeah.
your postcard, it's your business card when is the first approach, the first impression that you have from someone. And when someone say about your smile, my God, what can you expect more? So
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful question. I love the question. And yeah, that's the most thing that people, even strangers or people who met me for the first time, they make this comment, and I feel uncomfortable at the same time as well. I feel very happy and grateful for people commenting on that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think smile is very important. There's a company that I used to work for years ago, um, and part of their culture was look everyone in the eyes and smile, speak first and last.
amazing.
So, providing a smile, that's one thing that people mention about me consistently is smile. So, because
Yeah,
I'm also, I have a little bit of shyness to me.
the
I'm not
same.
that shy, and if I'm uncomfortable, I smile. Like
Yeah,
if I'm in a really uncomfortable situation, someone could be yelling at me and I may have a smile on my face, which gets misinterpreted that I'm smirking or something, and it's not. Like it's just my personality. Like that's what I do.
it's interesting saying that, Michael, because believe it or not, I'm very shy as well. And
Yeah.
naturally, I smile as well when I'm feeling shy for some reason.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that, but it's true. It's natural for you to smile when you are feeling uncomfortable or when you're feeling a bit, you know, uh, not understanding. I don't know, there's something about it. And naturally, you just smile because you don't know if you could cover yourself sometimes when you're feeling shy. But the
Yeah. Yeah.
smile comes naturally. Interesting point.
I have one more question for you.
Sure.
What have people always misunderstood about
Okay, great question. Great question.
you?
Okay, you're gonna go back to the same situation.
Yeah.
People, even my closest friends. I had situation where people, just because I'm very easy talking, I'm very easy connect with people. However, people they think that I'm not shy at all. I had situation where friends told me, William, I would love to be shy like you because why? I don't see. I said it's because you don't understand. It's a way of protecting. It's a way of it's a barrier. You know what I mean? It's something that helps me to when I'm talking. But trust me, as most of the time, Michael, if I could hide myself, I remember growing up, my mom she would tell me, my God, I sometimes I think you have a shelf on your back because she could see it. She could see that
Yeah.
because she's like, my God, always been very, you know what I mean, excluded. For there was like event or something, I always was in the corner. I always was
Yeah.
like shine, and it's so true. Even
No, I can absolutely relate to that and to the shyness. I typically don't approach people myself, but and I feel like for me it gets sometimes misinterpreted
yes,
as he's stuck up or like he won't talk to you, or you're not this part, you're not that part, whatever it may be, but it's not that at all. I
Yeah,
think that that's probably one of the biggest misunderstandings of
totally.
me, that people
Hmm.
have assumptions about,
Yeah,
is and it's literally just I'm a little bit shy sometimes. Now, I
yeah,
can come out and be an extrovert if I have to.
totally.
Obviously, my professional life, it forces me to, which is getting
Hmm.
yourself out of the comfort zone,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I do it, but it's not the norm. I love
Did you
it.
enjoy the interview?
I did. It was fun. It was fun.
Thanks again. Thanks for being so kind and accept my invitation. Also, thanks for being so open and talking
Yeah,
about the challenges in life. I think people they appreciate that. You never know who is watching this interview right now, and sometimes people they're in situations that where you've been before and see
right.
someone so open about it. I think it's about helping people as well. So thanks for being
Oh,
so open.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Just be kind to others. And something that I've been working on, or writing, um, is you know ensuring that you're keeping the door open for others to walk through, and whether that's you open the door and lend a hand and help somebody through that doorway. um, don't be slamming doors in people's faces, because right now,
Wow.
above anything, we
Wow.
100% need each other.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Cool.
Thanks again. Regards to your friends and your mom, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay?
Will do. Pleasure
Take care.
meeting you.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Take
Goodbye.
care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.